Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be solving this very important problem where the task is we need to read the third quarter, that is 25% of the data. So if you see here, we have like the employee data, we have this employee data and we need this output. And here also we have two columns, that is name and age. We just need to read this 25% of the data. Let's see how we can do. So basically, if you see here, we have eight record. Okay, so if we have eight record and we need to find the third quarter, that is we need to divide it by 4. So in each quarter we will have two records. So this is the first quarter, this is the second quarter, this is the third quarter, right? This is the third quarter and this is the fourth quarter, right? So if you see in the Okay, so if you see in the output, we have this third quarter, right? So in the third quarter, Eva, and Fran, these two employees are here, and so this is what here in our output. So how we can approach this problem? So and we have solved this problem in like SQL also, and but today we will solve this in PySpark. You can find the solution link for SQL version in the description section. So okay, so now we know we have eight record and we need the two record in the output, that too the third quarter record. So there can be multiple ways to solve this. Today we will solve this using Ntile. This is the inbuilt function, and second we will use the offset and limit, right? So this is the tricky one. Okay, we will solve using these two methods. There are other method also, right? You can use the resampling of the data, and then you can select the 25% of the fraction, and there can be multiple methods also that I don't know. So you need to comment those method if you can explore and like find out those method, right? So let's discuss how we can solve this using Ntile. Let's jump to our Databricks notebook and solve this using. Okay, so let's discuss what entiles means. So if you see here, what it does, it creates a group of data. It creates the group of data. You can read over here, right? So if you see here, like in this image, they have created the group and of 3 record. Basically, they have created the they must have passed the entire value as 4. If we pass 4, that then it will create the 4 group. Similarly, if we pass 3, then it will create the 3 group, right? And it will create a group in such a way that it will try to have the equal number of records in each group, like approximately equal number. Okay, so let's solve this using Ntile. So this is the task, and we will solve this in the first method using Ntile, and then in the second method we will use the offset and limit. Okay, so let me uh, create the data frame. So this is the data I will provide the create statement in the description section. Okay, so you can try it by yourself also. So this is the data frame, right? So we need these two record in the output. Okay, so so we will need some imports, right? So we will have to import the Ntile. So since this is the Ntile is nothing but a window function, so we will have to import the window also. Let me import all those things. So from pyspark.sql.functions. So first of all, we need call, right? We use this, and then we will need Ntile. So this is also here, and as and when we will require other thing, we will import. And let's import the window also. For creating the window, we will need that. So .sql import window, right? Awesome. So okay. So now basically, we will have to create a monotonically increasing ID. So what this is, let me explain you what is this. So this is nothing but a column that generate monotonically increasing 64-bit integer. So like for using this Ntile function, we will have to create a window. And since we know like we cannot create a window on these two columns, so we will have to generate a third column that will be an increasing number on which we will create the window. Like you will see that in action. So let me create this. So df equal to df dot with column. right? So I have told this multiple times. So whenever we need to create a column, a new column, we will have to use the with column. So this is a function, right? So we need to pass the parenthesis. So df dot show. Okay. So now if you see, we have this, like this is the dummy column. This we will use in creating the window, right? For window. So if you see here, we have the 64-bit integer, right? So okay, and this is the in increasing order, right? So now let's create the Ntile. So df equal to what we can use, df equal to df dot and with column, and we can name this as nth part, right? So it will create 4 bucket Ntile, and we will pass 4. Why? Because we want the like in quarters, and right, so we can write over, and here we need to pass the window. So what is the window? Window is nothing but window dot order by. We want this to order by uh like in ascending order of this, right? So let's print this. Okay, Ntile is not defined. Okay, have I not run this? I have run this. Ntile, let me run this again. Okay, now we have the data. So if you see here, these two records are in the first part, these two are in the second part, these two are in third part, and these two are in fourth part, right? And now from here we need the third part only, right? So we can simply write df dot df dot where where this column nth part should be equal to 3, right? This is what we need because we want the third quarter. So, and we can write the so also over here only. Let me run this. Okay, now you can see we have those two record. But if you see, we don't want this ID column and the nth part column. So what we can do, we can write the drop over here only. So we can write drop which column, ID column, and then we want to drop nth part column also. And let's run this. Okay, now you can see we have only these two record which we wanted. So yes, we have solved this using Ntile inbuilt function. Now let's solve this using offset and limit. So what is offset? So let me show you offset and limit. Okay, so if you see here, offset is used to skip the number of rows. So let's like see here carefully. So in this image, if you see here, we have the offset 3 and limit 5. So what offset does, it skip the first 3 row. So if you see here in the output, we have the record from like the ID of employee is 193, not 1 to 1, right? So this is what skip like offset does, and we know skip limit, right? So skip limit is nothing but it select the specified number of rows. So let's do that. So let us understand this thing in like here in the Excel sheet, then we will discuss in the code. Okay, now we know we want to use offset and limit, right? So what value to pass in offset, what value to pass in limit? That's the tricky part, right? So now we know we want the third quarter. So we can skip directly the first 2 quarter, right? So first 2 quarter is what? The first 50% record, and here the second 50% record is lie in the third and fourth quarter. We want to skip first 50% of the record. So what is first 50%? First 50% is nothing but df dot count. So this will return 8, and we can divide it by 2. So this is 4. So we can like skip these 4 record. So we can provide here df count divide by 2. So this is nothing but skipping the part. So this part will be skipped. Now we have only these 4 record. So what we can do, we can write the limit, and we need to pass how many record we want from these four records. So if you see here, we want only two record, right? So like the in each quarter, like since we need the quarter value, so in each quarter two value will come, and if we can pass here df count divide by 4, so this will return those two values, right? Because each quarter value we get by dividing it by 4, the count should be divided by 4, and this will give the quarter value, right? So this is what we need to do, right? So let's do this in notebook, right? So let me write df dot offset, and we need to skip the first 4 record. So let me show you the count over here. Okay, so df dot count, let's see what it is returning. Okay, now you can see here we have 8 record, and we want to skip the first 4 record. So we can write df count divided by 2. So, and if you see this is returning in decimal, so what we can do, we can use this thing. Right, so we have 4 over here, so let's do that. Df count divide by 2. So we are skipping the first two, and let me show this so it will be clear. Okay, now you can see we have the bottom part. Okay, so we are, if you see, we have not ran this again, that's why we are getting these two column also. So let's run this again so that we don't get those two column also, because we are using the same data frame, right? So let me run this again. Now we should not get. Okay, let me run this. Okay, now you can see we don't have those two column, right? So in the first method we had used those two column, right? So that's why we were getting those two column. Okay, now you can see we have the bottom 4 record. Okay, now here also we want only these two record, right? The first two record. So what we can do, so these two are nothing but what? These two are nothing but df count divided by 4. So it will return 2, and we can select those two values. So here only, okay, let's write here only. Okay, so we can write limit of df dot count divided by 4. So df count divided by 4 is what? Let me run this here. So this is nothing but 2, and here till this point we have 4 record, and out of those 4 record we want to limit the value till two rows. So we will get these 2 rows. Let me run this. Okay, awesome. Now you can see we have only these two records, and this is what we needed in our output. So we have solved this using these two methods. You can like solve this in other method also. So yes, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share the channel. And if you're new to this channel, you can find a lot of interview related stuff on this channel. You can check out that also. Let's meet in the next problem. Until then, bye.